Welcome to LinguaEar English Podcast, a place where you don't just listen to English, you experience it. If you're here to train your ears, improve your confidence, and grow step by step through real conversations, you're absolutely in the right place.
Yes, you are. And we're really glad you're here with us today. This is our very first episode, which makes it kind of special, doesn't it?
It does. I'm actually a little excited and maybe just a tiny bit nervous.
Same here. But hey, that's what makes it real, right?
Exactly. So before we dive into deeper topics in future episodes, today is all about getting to know us. Think of this as sitting down with two new friends and just having a relaxed chat.
Yeah, no pressure. Just natural conversation. So let's start properly. Hi, everyone. My name is Akin. I'm currently living in the United States, specifically in Seattle, Washington.
Ooh, Seattle. That sounds cool already. A rainy city, right?
Yes, very rainy. Lots of coffee, lots of tech people, and definitely lots of gray skies. But I love it. It has this calm, thoughtful energy.
I like that description. Thoughtful energy. That's very poetic.
I didn't even plan that. It just came out. So what about you? Tell everyone who you are.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Aylin. I'm living in Melbourne, Australia. And yes, before anyone asks, yes, there are spiders here, but not everywhere.
That's the first thing people think about Australia. Spiders and kangaroos.
Exactly. And I promise we don't see kangaroos hopping down the street every day. Well, not in the city, at least.
So Melbourne, how would you describe it?
Melbourne feels creative. It's very artistic. We have amazing coffee culture, street art everywhere, live music, little hidden cafes. It feels alive, but relaxed at the same time.
That actually sounds really nice. I feel like Seattle and Melbourne might have similar vibes in some ways.
Maybe they do. Rain, coffee, creative people. Sounds like we could be sister cities.
I like that. Sister cities.
So, since this podcast is about helping people train their listening skills, I think it's important that we speak naturally. Sometimes we'll speak a little slower, sometimes at normal speed, and sometimes we might repeat important phrases.
Right, because real English isn't always textbook English. It has emotion, pauses, hesitation, laughter, and that's what we want you to hear.
Exactly. So, let's keep going. Akin, how long have you been living in Seattle?
I've been here for about 5 years now. I originally grew up in California, so moving to Seattle was a bit of a weather shock.
I can imagine, from sunshine to rain.
Yeah, but I actually enjoy it. The rain makes you slow down. It makes you reflect. And I'm the kind of person who likes quiet time.
That's interesting. So, what do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I read a lot, mostly nonfiction. Personal development, psychology, sometimes business books. I also enjoy hiking. There are so many beautiful trails near Seattle. What about you?
I love that. Hiking sounds peaceful. For me, I really enjoy photography. I like capturing everyday moments, sunlight on buildings, people walking, coffee cups on tables, small details.
That sounds very artistic.
Maybe a little. I also love going to the beach, even if it's just to sit there and think. There's something about the ocean that clears your mind.
I completely agree. Water has that effect.
Okay, important question. What's your favorite animal?
Oh, wow. Straight to serious topics, huh? I'd say dogs. I grew up with a golden retriever, and ever since then, I've just loved their loyalty and energy.
Oh, that's sweet. I like dogs too. Then I think I'd choose dolphins.
Dolphins? Why dolphins?
I don't know. They seem intelligent and playful at the same time. Like they understand more than we think.
That's actually a great answer.
All right, next question. Favorite food?
Easy. Sushi. I could eat sushi every week and never get tired of it.
Oh, that's a good one. For me, probably Thai food. I love strong flavors. Spicy, sweet, sour, all mixed together.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Same here. You know what I like about this conversation? It feels simple, but this is how real connections start.
Exactly. You don't jump into deep philosophy right away. You start with, where are you from? What do you enjoy? What makes you smile?
And that's what this first episode is about, building comfort.
Yes. So if you're listening right now, just relax. You don't need to understand every single word. Just focus on the rhythm, the tone, the feeling of the conversation.
Because language is not just vocabulary, it's emotion.
And this is just the beginning. In our next segments, we're going to talk more about our personalities, our goals, and maybe some funny cultural differences between the US and Australia.
Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right, so let's go a little deeper. Akeen, how would you describe your personality if you had to use maybe 3 words?
Okay, 3 words. I'd say reflective, curious, and calm.
Reflective. I like that word. What makes you say reflective?
I tend to think a lot before I speak, sometimes maybe too much. I like analyzing situations, understanding people's motivations, figuring out why things happen the way they do.
So you're the type of person who replays conversations in their head later.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be in bed at night thinking, why did I say that like that?
Oh no, same. I thought that was just me.
No, you're not alone. Overthinking club.
Membership accepted. Okay, so reflective, curious, calm. I can see that. You do have a very calm energy when you speak.
Thank you. That means a lot. What about you? 3 words.
All right, I'd say creative, observant, and optimistic.
Observant. Interesting.
Yeah, I notice small details like tone changes, facial expressions, little shifts in mood. Sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's exhausting.
I can imagine. Being observant means you pick up on everything.
Exactly. But it helps with photography. I notice light, colors, little stories happening around me.
That connects perfectly with creative.
And optimistic. I tend to believe things will work out, even when they look messy at first.
That's powerful. Optimism changes how you experience life.
It really does.
Speaking of daily life, what does a normal day look like for you in Melbourne?
Okay, let's see. I usually wake up around 7 a.m. I make coffee, very important in Melbourne. Then I either go for a short walk or do some light stretching. I like starting the day slowly.
That sounds peaceful.
It is. Then I work during the day, and in the evenings, I try not to just scroll on my phone. I read, edit photos, or meet friends for dinner.
I like that you said try. That's honest.
Yes, sometimes I fail.
For me, my mornings are similar. Coffee first. Always coffee.
Of course, Seattle.
Exactly. Then I usually go to work, and after work I either go to the gym or go for a walk. I've learned that if I don't move my body, my mind feels heavy.
That's so true. Movement clears mental fog.
You know, one thing I'm curious about, are there any cultural differences you've noticed between Australia and the US?
Oh, yes, definitely. Australians tend to be very direct, but also very sarcastic. Sometimes our humor can confuse people.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If we like someone, we might tease them. And if someone doesn't understand the tone, they might think we're being rude.
That could cause misunderstandings.
It can. What about Americans?
I'd say Americans are generally very friendly and open at first. Small talk is common. You can be in line at a grocery store and suddenly you're talking about the weather or your weekend plans.
Oh, yes. Australians don't do that as much.
Really?
Not as much. We're friendly, but maybe a bit more reserved with strangers.
That's fascinating. See, this is what I love about conversations like this. You realize how culture shapes communication style.
Exactly. And for listeners, this is important because English isn't just grammar, it's tone, humor, cultural context.
Right. Sometimes what sounds normal in one country might sound strange in another.
I know. Turn turns it into an action. Do you ever feel like where you live influences who you become?
Yes, definitely. Living in Seattle made me more reflective. The slower pace, the gray skies, it encourages introspection.
I love that word. Introspection.
And living in a city like Melbourne probably shapes your creativity, right?
It does. When you're surrounded by art and music, you start thinking more creatively without even realizing it.
So here's a deeper question. What motivates you?
Growth. I don't want to stay the same version of myself forever. I like learning, evolving, becoming slightly better each year.
That's powerful.
What about you?
Impact. I want my work, my words, my presence to positively affect someone, even if it's small.
That's beautiful.
And that's honestly part of why we're doing this podcast.
Yes. If someone listening feels more confident in English or feels inspired to improve themselves, that matters.
It really does.
Okay, let's lighten it up again. Random question. Morning person or night person?
Morning person, no doubt. My brain works best before noon.
Really? I'm kind of both, but I get random creative ideas late at night.
Those 11 p.m. ideas?
Exactly.
If you could live anywhere else in the world for 1 year, where would it be?
Ooh, maybe Italy. Beautiful architecture, amazing food, strong culture. And you?
I'd choose Japan. I'm fascinated by the balance between tradition and technology.
That's such a thoughtful choice.
You know, what's interesting is, even though we live in different countries, we share similar values: growth, reflection, creativity.
That's true. Maybe that's why this conversation feels easy.
Yeah, it flows naturally.
And for everyone listening, notice how conversations flow. There are pauses, there are small laughs. Sometimes we think before answering. That's normal.
You don't need to speak perfectly. You need to speak naturally.
In the next part, let's talk about challenges we faced and how they shaped us. I think that's where people really connect.
Agreed. That's where stories become meaningful.
All right, so let's go into something a little more real. Not too heavy, but honest. Akin, what's a challenge you've faced that really shaped who you are today?
That's a good question. I'd say learning to deal with uncertainty. A few years ago, I went through a period where I didn't know what direction my career was going. I felt stuck.
Stuck how?
Like I was moving, but not progressing. You know that feeling when you're busy every day, but deep down you're not sure if you're building something meaningful?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I remember waking up one morning and thinking, is this it? Is this the path I'm supposed to stay on? And that question scared me.
What did you do?
At first, nothing. I just sat with it. I avoided making decisions because change felt risky.
That's honest. A lot of people avoid change because it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. But eventually I realized that staying still was also a risk. So I started reading more, reflecting more, asking myself better questions.
Like what?
What kind of life do I want 5 years from now? What skills do I need to build? What kind of person do I want to become?
Those are powerful questions.
They are, and slowly I began making small adjustments instead of one dramatic leap.
I like that. Small adjustments. Not everything has to be a big, dramatic change.
Exactly. Growth can be quiet.
For me, I think one of my challenges was confidence.
Confidence in what way?
Speaking up, sharing my ideas. When I was younger, I'd overthink everything before talking. I'd worry, what if this sounds stupid?
I think many people relate to that.
Yeah, and the strange thing is, most of the time, no one was judging me as harshly as I was judging myself.
That's such an important realization.
It took time. I had to practice speaking, even when I felt uncomfortable, even when my voice felt a little shaky.
And now you're hosting a podcast.
I know, right? Life is funny.
But that's a great lesson for our listeners. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build through action.
Yes, especially in language learning. You don't wait until your English is perfect to speak. You speak and then you improve.
I think fear of mistakes holds people back more than lack of vocabulary.
Absolutely. Fear freezes you, but mistakes teach you.
Can I ask you something personal?
Sure.
When you decided to become more confident, was there a specific moment that pushed you?
Yes. There was a meeting at work. I had an idea, and I didn't share it. Later, someone else suggested almost the same idea, and everyone loved it.
Ouch.
Yeah, it wasn't about credit. It was about realizing I silenced myself. That feeling stayed with me.
And that became the turning point.
Exactly. I told myself, next time, I'll speak, even if my voice shakes.
That's powerful.
What about you? Was there a moment that forced you to face uncertainty?
Yes, a close friend of mine moved away. We used to talk almost every day about goals and ideas. Suddenly, that support system wasn't there in the same way.
That must have felt lonely.
It did. And I realized I depended too much on external motivation. I had to learn self-motivation.
That's hard.
It is. No one claps for you when you wake up early to work on yourself. No one sees the quiet effort.
But that's where real growth happens.
Exactly. In the unseen moments.
You know what I'm noticing right now?
What?
A conversation shifted naturally. We started with favorite food and animals, and now we're talking about personal growth.
That's how real conversations go. They evolve.
And that's something we want our listeners to get used to. English conversations aren't linear. They slow, they expand.
Sometimes they go deeper unexpectedly.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone listening who feels stuck right now, what would you say?
I'd say don't wait for clarity before taking action. Action creates clarity. Even small steps count.
That's good.
What about you?
I'd say don't underestimate yourself. The voice inside your head is often louder than the reality outside.
Wow, that's something worth repeating.
Slightly slower, don't underestimate yourself.
And if you're listening to this podcast to improve your English, remember, progress doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. You suddenly understand a sentence you couldn't before.
Or you catch a joke without subtitles.
That's a great feeling.
In the next part, I think we should talk about dreams. Not just career dreams, but life dreams.
I like that direction.
Because dreams reveal what matters to us.
And that's where conversations become inspiring.
All right, let's talk about dreams. Not the kind you have when you're asleep, but the ones that keep you awake at night. Akin, when you think about your future, what excites you the most?
I think what excites me most is growth combined with freedom. The idea that I can design a life intentionally.
What does freedom look like to you?
Freedom means having control over my time, being able to choose what I work on, being able to wake up and not feel trapped by routine.
That's powerful. So it's not just about money.
No, not just money. Money supports freedom, but freedom is about choice.
I like that distinction. Choice. What about you? When you imagine your future, what do you see? A gentle pause. I see a life where I'm still curious. I don't want to become someone who stops learning. I want to travel more, document stories with photography, maybe even publish a photo book one day.
A photo book? That sounds amazing.
It's a dream. Maybe a little scary to say out loud.
Why scary?
Because when you say a dream out loud, it becomes real. And once it's real, you're responsible for chasing it.
That's such a deep observation.
Do you ever feel afraid of failing publicly?
Yes, absolutely. I think anyone who says they're not afraid is either very brave or not being honest.
True.
But I've realized something. Failing publicly is uncomfortable, but not trying at all is worse.
Not trying at all is worse. That hits.
When we started this podcast, I remember thinking, what if no one listens?
I thought the same thing.
But then I asked myself, what if someone does? What if even one person benefits?
Exactly. Sometimes we overestimate how many people are judging us and underestimate how many people might appreciate us.
That's a great line.
Thank you. I didn't prepare that, by the way.
That's the beauty of real conversation.
I think dreams require courage, but they also require patience.
Yes, people see success and think it happened overnight, but usually it's years of invisible effort.
Let's make this practical for listeners. If someone listening right now has a dream, maybe improving their English, maybe changing careers, what's the first step?
I'd say clarity. Write it down. Make it specific. Not, I want better English. Instead, I want to understand English podcasts without subtitles in 6 months.
Specific goals create direction.
Exactly. And then consistency. Small daily practice beats random intense effort.
That's so true for language learning. Listening a little every day trains your brain.
Your brain adapts through repetition.
And I want to say something directly to everyone listening. If you're here, that already means you care about improving, and that matters.
Yes, showing up is the first victory.
Do you remember a time when you almost gave up on something important?
Yes, when I first started trying to build better habits, I failed many times. I'd wake up early for a week, then stop. I'd start journaling, then forget.
That sounds familiar.
But eventually I realized discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about returning.
Returning. That's such a good word.
Even if you fall off track, you return the next day.
I think that applies to confidence, too. You don't suddenly become fearless. You just keep showing up.
If you imagine yourself 10 years from now, what kind of person do you hope you've become?
A long, reflective pause. I hope I'm kinder, liver, less reactive. I hope I've learned to listen more deeply, not just to others, but to myself.
That's beautiful.
What about you?
I hope I've built something meaningful, something that helps people think differently. And I hope I've maintained balance, not sacrificing health or relationships for ambition.
Balance is hard.
Very hard, especially in a world that constantly pushes productivity.
Maybe that's another reason for this podcast, to create space.
Space to think, space to learn, space to grow.
And space to simply listen.
Before we wrap up in the next part, I want to ask you one last question for this section.
Okay.
What does success mean to you?
Success means alignment, when your daily actions match your values. Not just achievements, but peace.
Alignment. That's profound.
And you?
Success means impact with integrity, achieving goals without losing who you are.
I like that a lot.
All right, I think we're approaching the end of our first episode.
Yes, but before we officially close, let's bring it back to our listeners in the final part. Wow, I can't believe we're already at the end of our very first episode. It feels like we just started talking.
I know. Time moves differently when a conversation feels natural.
Before we officially close, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we shared today. We started with simple things: where we live, what we like to eat, our favorite animals.
And slowly, without forcing it, the conversation moved into personality, challenges, dreams, and what success means to us.
That's the beauty of real dialogue. It evolves.
If you were listening carefully, you probably noticed something important. We didn't use complicated vocabulary.
No big academic words.
Just natural English, with pauses, with emotion, with laughter.
And sometimes with hesitation.
Because that's how real people speak.
And that's exactly why this podcast exists. LinguaEar English Podcast is not about memorizing scripts. It's about training your ears to understand real conversation.
You might not catch every word the first time. That's okay.
You might need to replace certain parts. That's normal.
Improvement happens through exposure.
Here's something practical you can do after this episode. Listen again, but this time, focus on tone.
Notice when we slow down. Notice when we pause. Notice when our voices become softer or stronger.
That awareness builds listening intelligence.
And don't pressure yourself to understand perfectly. Even native speakers sometimes mishear things.
Very true. You know what I appreciated most about today?
What?
I appreciated the honesty, the small, vulnerable moments.
I agree. It didn't feel scripted. It felt human.
And that's something we want to continue in future episodes. Starting from next topic, we'll explore different topics. Personal growth, mindset, productivity, creativity, maybe even cultural habits.
But always through conversation, always through something real.
Because when learning feels natural, it sticks.
And when growth feels personal, it lasts.
So if you're still here with us, truly thank you. Listening from beginning to end means you're serious about improving.
Yes, thank you for spending your time with us. Time is valuable.
Before we go, let me ask you something, and you don't have to answer out loud. Just think about it.
What's one small step you can take this week to improve your English?
Maybe it's listening to this episode again.
Maybe it's shadowing a few sentences, repeating them out loud.
Maybe it's simply building the habit of daily listening.
Whatever it is, keep it small. Keep it consistent.
Growth doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence.
And confidence doesn't appear overnight. It's built through practice.
I'm really excited for what's coming next.
Me too. We've got some meaningful topics lined up.
And we'll keep this space comfortable, like two friends talking.
Except now, you're part of the conversation too.
So that's it for LinguaEar English Podcast.
Thank you for listening from beginning to end.
We truly appreciate it.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
And stay curious about what topic we'll explore in our next conversation.
We promise it'll be something that makes you think and grow.
And maybe laugh a little too.
Until next time,
Keep listening.
keep growing.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe the channel to find out what's more interesting.